So for me, the biggest one was just identifying what food did for me. Because most of the
Ooh.
time, when people have an eating issue of any kind, because these are all about behavior problems. They're not
Hmm.
knowledge ones. Like, you shouldn't eat pizza, but you still do. And,
Right.
that's why with all my clients, I try to ask them, now, why'd you do that? And oftentimes they can't tell me, or it'll just be something superficial, like, oh, it was good or whatever.
Hmm.
So for me, I realized that I had a deep association with food and comfort. Like there was a huge comparison there. And so then it was just about finding an alternative way to satisfy that. And,
Right.
because once you realize that it's like, okay, I'm not doing this just because I'm hungry,
Right.
it's like, then that's when you can start looking for alternatives. But that's
Right.
why I'm a huge proponent of people journaling. And I would put that as another pillar. It's like, as
Hmm.
I have a daily journaling practice that really helps sort of illuminate a lot of stuff for me.
Right.
Because, like I said, I mean, so much of our stuff is buried,
Hmm.
underneath a bunch of nonsense. And a lot of people couldn't tell you why they do half the things that they do. And so
Right.
one of the things that I've tried to sort of live my life by, at least over the past year or two, is I'm not going to do anything that I can't tell you why and have like a good reason.
I love that. That's a great, tip. I'm a huge journaler as well. And I remember when I first started journaling, I couldn't, I mean, they're like a sentence or two,
Mhm.
now that's expanded, to, it's pages and paragraphs and all of that. But you will start, getting things out there on paper and that then you can start visually seeing, what is going on up there.
Exactly. As long as you keep yourself open to the process,
Yeah.
because a lot of times, and this is kind of a defense mechanism. People shut themselves off from it because, pardon me, because it is just uncomfortable to really have real change. It's like that physically or mentally. Like
Yeah.
people don't understand. Like one thing that like a lot of people like don't get is like lifting weights doesn't make you stronger. It actually destroys your muscles, and then they get stronger when they heal.
Right.
And healing mentally or slash emotionally, it's the same way. It's like you have to go through that discomfort, and that's how you end up getting better and stronger and more resilient.
That is a great analogy. I don't know that I've ever heard that before that, and that's so true. Oh, that's great. Okay. So
Yeah.
the journaling was one of the things in recognizing the relationship that you had with food.
Yes.
Yeah. What else helped get you on that?
Honestly, I would say the like third biggest thing is just making sure I'm surrounding myself with the right people.
Yeah.
Because like when you're talking about any behavior, if you that you're looking to change, if you surround yourself with people who are looking to reinforce that behavior, it's never going to change.
Right.
And so if I just hung out with people who wanted to go out, get food, get drinks or whatever, then that was likely what I was going to do. And so
Right.
instead, I started spending more time around the people who were doing the things I wanted to do. And
Yeah.
then what happens is you generally just start picking it up, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So then getting, taking the time to really kind of get to know yourself and look inward. I believe our answers are always inside of us if we're
Mhm.
willing to look at that. Then is that when you got into becoming the fitness coach and working with people?
So I had actually been a fitness coach soon after I started fighting because
Okay.
basically I knew how long I knew how big of a task I had because I ultimately to fight that first time I ended up losing over 100 pounds. And
Wow.
so I wanted a job that was going to keep me in the gym because I
Right.
also too like I'm a bad employee. Like I don't take orders very well. I have issues being told what to do, and that'll be something to deal with later. and, um, and so I liked kind of having jobs where I could kind of set my own schedule, do my own thing.
Nothing wrong with that. You've identified your strengths and weaknesses. That's a good thing.
Exactly. It's like, but but prior to really sort of having the epiphany on how important the inner stuff is,
Right.
I was just sort of like your standard, like probably a middle of the road trader. You know what
Right.
I mean? It's
Right.
like I know plenty who are better than me. I know plenty who are worse.
Right.
It's like, but then I really found my niche in the behavior change aspect, and that's because that was what I needed the most. So that's often how our niches work. It's
Yeah.
you end up serving who you used to be.